Hello and welcome back. So in this session we'll talk about exporting a UV map from 3ds Max to photo editing software such as Krita, Photoshop, Affinity Photo. So we have a model right here that has been modeled in a previous tutorial. So let's select all the 3D objects within the scene and click on the modifier and select Unwrap UV. So if we scroll down, we can see Open UV Editor, and we can see everything that has been laid out. So what we want to do is right now is export this UV map as an image. So we go under Tools, then under UVW. So right here you can set the resolution, and you can also change the colors if you wish. So I'm sticking with the default. But if you want to do like a higher quality, higher resolution, maybe for a movie or a game, such as 2024 or maybe 4K if you want, you could also lower it down to 512 for maybe a mobile game. So for now, I'm going to leave it as is. Let's render a UV template, and right here we see the map. So let's save it, and yes. Okay, now here if we let's remove the modifier. So right now object, then selected Unwrap UV and scroll down to UV editor. Notice the handle will be missing. So when you render this one out, it will come out without the handles. So you have two options. Select all the objects within the scene, then add the same Unwrap UV like we did at first. So like let's remove this, select all, and then add Unwrap UV. And right here we have everything. The other option is if you go into the shield, let's remove this. If you go into the shield, and then what you want to do is attach object so they all become one. And now if we add Unwrap UV, you should be able to see all of them in one window. So you have a couple of options. Okay, let's switch to Krita. So we have Krita open. Let's open the file. And we have the map right here. We have the layout, we have everything. So the only thing I can recommend is if you go under photo adjust and invert the image, that way you can easily just use I forgot what it was, so let me add an image underneath it. Let's lock this one out and lock the transparency so that any editing that happens to the image does not go over the transparency. And here let's add a color. So let's use a lasso tool and let's select And let's use the fill and fill it with maybe, and we can see the fill on the lower layer. So if we hide the background, we can see it right there. So what we do right now is on the background, we just change it to darken, and that way you can see it easily. And now maybe you can add other things to it, add other details, maybe a metal, maybe, I don't know, anything you like. Maybe you can do a hand painted textures. And let's do another painting just quickly. So let's use the last two again. Let's create another layer and okay. And now let's maybe make it a bit yellowish. Maybe orange, a bit to the orange side, maybe. Okay, and fill it. Okay. And now let's hide the UV and let's export this image. Save. So I have already saved it before, so okay. So we do okay. Then let's switch back to 3ds Max. Let's open the material. And right here, so we have the base color. So I tend not to use physical material, especially for game objects. So what I do is I just switch it back to standard material. So this is a legacy one. So in case you're not able to check show incompatible, because it's not compatible anymore, but this is only for visual purposes. And now, so we have all selected and just apply to it. Yeah. And now under diffuse, let's go look for a bitmap right here. Let's select the new image, the new map, and now we should be able to see it. So you can continue with the texturing using Krita. You can also use viewport canvas. So right now, let's say, so if you want to do hand painted textures, make sure that you have flat colors on. That way, light does not affect it, since hand painted textures uses painted lights and details. So let's select this, and we want to make sure that you want to affect only the diffuse color. You could also paint on the other shader, I think you can call them like materials or shaders or effects. I don't know. You could do that, but we want to stick with the diffuse color. And just start. So you have so we want to make sure that we can see the layers. So let's go to tools, and we want the layers so we can see exactly what we're painting. We can add layers to it. see. So I had to do a little bit of search. So the layer dialog is right here. So what we want to do is now add a layer on top of it and select this layer and maybe do a little bit of contrast. Maybe not. Oh, you have to be on this to do that. So or maybe you want to do it hand painted on a separate layer. So let's select a color and maybe make it a bit lighter. Just a little bit. And in order to see where you should paint your highlights, press F4 again to see your final work. So right now I'm using my mouse, so it is preferred to use maybe a Wacom tablet or any tablet with a pen. And yeah, that's it. And you could also do this. You can save this as a Photoshop PSD, and then continue with the editing using Krita or Photoshop. So like for example, open and shield. You can see the changes right here. You can make changes as well and save it, and you should be able to see the effect back here. So let's get out of it and discard paint. Let's go back to material, press M. Here we want to change it back to PSD. Which one was it? Shield, yeah. And right here. So you can go back and forth and do the edits here, for example. Save it. And if you go back to it, you'll see it being updated. And that is all. Happy painting and thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.